Hi, this is Jason Wampa, your host for another installment of Dimestore Psychology. It's now 11:08 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Costa Mesa, California. um, Today, I just wanted to review some information. I'm not sure if I talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it now. I've been in four different rear end collisions over the past 3 years, which is an abnormal amount of rear end collisions. And I swear, if it's a rear end collision, it's not my fault. I mean, four individuals, not myself, rear-ended me, and so far I have three totaled vehicles from the four accidents. It's really hard to get any type of cooperation of insurance companies. And out of those four accidents and three total vehicles, I've got a sum total of $4,500, which is basically a drop in the bucket. This last rear end incident, it caused damage to my neck. I won't get into the details. I'm okay now, but at 51 years of age, things don't heal up as much as well as they can. Um, Here's the thing. I had to hire another attorney. I went with a attorney named Sweet James Bergner, and unfortunately, they're more of a like they call it a telemarketing boiler room. Their attorneys are in and out of the office about. They change attorneys about probably once a month. I've been through six attorneys with Sweet James Bergner so far. It's been 11 months since the rear-ending incident. Actually, yeah, 11 months. And then so far, nothing. They talk. Every time I call in, I have to be put on hold. I wait for 15 minutes. I call back a second time. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm sorry. The secretary says. And she passes it through the voicemail. I leave a very polite, professional voicemail. And nobody bothers to call me back. So I kind of had enough. I want to get a settlement offer out of the other person's insurance. I've hired another lawyer named Daniel Kim. He seems to be really, really knowledgeable and experienced, and he's motivated. I talked to the actual Daniel Kim himself, the actual attorney. He's handling my case now. Here's the thing, folks, about today's discussion. Um, that phone system's not going to work. Here's the thing. There's a saying: be firm but polite, firm but tactful. You have to stand up for yourself. If you're hiring attorneys, you have to do exactly what they tell you to do, and you have to stay on top of things. You have to be proactive about your case because they're the ones that are going to be getting you tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for your case. So you want to be proactive. In excusing other attorneys, which I do have to call Sweet James Bergner and officially cut him loose and get all the information I can on the accident from him, you have to be firm but polite. It's not that you don't want to burn bridges, but you have to tell them be polite and respectful and tell them, look, I don't think you're bad people. I just think you guys might be taking on too much caseload, and you can't get to everybody adequately. And unfortunately, I have to move on. I have to look out for my own best interest. Don't get vitriolic. Don't get personal. Don't tell them I'm gonna denounce you to everybody because that's what emotional, irrational, dysfunctional, immature people do, and you're none of those. I'm assuming. But be firm but polite in dealing with banks. You have to stand up for yourself, and you have to call them several times. But they get snippety and disrespectful with them. Look, I don't like the way you're talking to me. I like to talk to your supervisor. If not, I'll go ahead and look up their number on the internet. I'll go into a local branch, and I'll file a complaint. I don't like the way you're talking to me. But don't, again, avoid getting vitriolic, using abusive speech, talking down to them, or insulting them, or getting personal. A combination of any one of those four will cause anger or cause hurt, and that anger will come up. So, again, firm but tactful. Now, here's the thing. With your doctor's appointments, with your medical assistance on your medical insurance, with your bank, with your attorney, with your money, with your food stamps, with your Social Security, disability, guess what, guys? If it's for you, no one in the world cares about that as much as you do. So you have to stay on top of things. My suggestion is make a list of people you need to call, contacts like food stamp agents, telephone service people, paralegals, lawyers, etc., etc. Call them at least once a week, maybe on Monday or Tuesday in the morning. Set aside about a couple hours of time. I know that's expensive, and then call these people and till the soil, relight the fire under the kettle, cook the chili in the pot, as the saying goes, and get on it. Because again, you care about you. They don't necessarily not care about you, but this, in this impersonal world, business is business. But this Daniel Kim lawyer, he seems to be somebody who's hungry for business. He's hungry for pro bono. He's hungry for money, and he's very, very knowledgeable and good at what he does. He doesn't just pass me off between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 different attorneys. That's an exaggeration, but I counted at least 5 attorneys that I've been through with this other law firm, and it's like it's more like a telemarketing firm than it is an accident agency. And unfortunately, when attorneys go corporate, and they go public or private, that just motivates them to make so much money. They start cutting corners until they start going in circles. But again, a long time ago, during the height of the COVID-19 scare, I spent 8 hours on the phone with Kaiser Permanente trying to readjust my appointment with a doctor, Dr. Suzanne Nicole Saul, in an effort to make an appointment to see her, to get an assessment, to get her to write off, and to get some information from Kaiser Permanente, which, to send off to Social Security so I can get my Social Security disability claim taken care of. Now, I'm applying for that only because I am mentally disabled and I'm entitled to it. I've been diagnosed with several different mental disorders, and I'm entitled to disability, so I'm going to take it. And I paid taxes for the last 35 years of my life, actually 36, so I'm entitled to it. But Dr. Nicole Suzanne Saul, she works for Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser Permanente is an excellent, adequate, completely watertight healthcare facility. As far as their mental health care facilities are concerned, they're very sorely lacking. I tried working with Dr. Suzanne Nicole Saul, and she lied to me twice. I counted both occasions. She dropped the ball about 3 times with my Social Security disability. It took me 6 months to get her to cooperate with anything, until I was yelling and screaming at her on the phone, telling her, get the damn information over to Social Security so I can get my Social Security disability. I don't care about your lack of professionalism. We got into a big knockdown, drag-out fight. We blew up at each other, and of course she's human too, but she maintained her professional demeanor. She's still, in my opinion, disloyal, flighty, dishonest. I just don't think she's much of a clinical psychologist. She's I don't care for her. I don't like her personality, and I don't like her practices or her thinking. So I have another clinical psychiatrist with Kaiser Permanente. Here's the thing. I need medication for sleep, to correct my moods, and to keep me from being 5150 again. I won't say what that is. I need primary mental health care through Kaiser Permanente. So far, they're doing okay. I'm having telephone visits on Zoom with my newest doctor. He's a man. I have to defer to him because he has a PhD. I do not. So he is a doctor. I am not. We can match wits, but he doesn't feel comfortable with that either. So you got to let the doctors have that. If they feel superior to you, just let them feel superior to you, because they're doing you the favor by helping you with health issues. So just be quiet and listen. If they're not humble, just take it with a grain of salt. That's another saying everybody needs to learn by. Acknowledge and move on. Take it with a grain of salt. Water off a duck's back. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And engaging in conversation with people where working professionals where you're just not getting the type or level of service or performance out of them that they led you to believe they would give you, then be firm and polite. You have to determine whether to keep working with them or just cut them loose and work for somebody else. Like my last attorney, Sweet James Berger, I have to cut them loose because they're not performing. They're passing me off from lawyer to lawyer, to attorney, and it just, like I said, they seem more like a telemarketing firm or a boiler room than they do an actual sound attorney legal firm. So I just had to cut them loose. There are some people like AutoZone. Auto parts, they sell auto parts. I had to cut them loose. Their parts are they only last a couple months. Their customer service is in the tank. They're unfriendly. Familiarity breeds contempt. Now, I've just had a lot of problems with them, so I only use O'Reilly when I do work on or build cars. And I do that for a living to supplement my income. But, again, after 10 or 20 years of doing business with AutoZone, I had to cut them loose because their customer service and their product was so terrible. I couldn't get anything from them but, containers of oil or parts prefabricated and manufactured brand new from other suppliers. But they're just falling off the grid. They've grown past the size of their britches, and they're losing their grip on managerial skills and administrative skills for running a business that big. So anyway, be firm. But always, when you're talking to someone and they're a working professional and they're helping out with your business, they're a vendor, supplier, and they're just not up to snuff, they're not performing the standard. Well, I guess you have to make a decision whether to keep trying to work with them or cut them loose. If they're costing you too much time on the phone, like AutoZone, where I have to call back at least 3 times in a row and then wait another 10 minutes to talk to somebody. I can't do that. Running a business, working 100 hours a week, which is what I do, building cars and building rockets, I don't have that kind of time. I don't have 30 minutes, 30 attention drawing minutes to make one phone call about one part on one car. I have to call other people. I get on the phone, tell them, you're making model, do you have it? Yes, no, how much, how no. And I spend about roughly 2 minutes on the call versus 30. So I can't deal with AutoZone because they take 30 minutes of my time every time I call them just to get a part. O'Reilly's, they cut it down to about 5 minutes. O'Reilly does better. Circle T Auto Parts, Hub Auto Supply, those places, they're so lightning quick and they're so on the ball. They do everything so correctly. I'm literally on and off the phone with like place like Circle T Auto Parts. I'm literally on and off the phone in less than 60 seconds. I mean, these guys are good. So, but anyway, but with anybody and everybody you're dealing with when you're cutting them loose, so look, it isn't working out. Unfortunately, I know you're trying, but I can't work with this because my time is just as important as my money. I've been self-employed, and you be prepared to take some flack for them, but don't return it. To repay, don't cuss and scream and yell at them and be vitriolic, immature, dysfunctional, or hateful or disrespectful back to them. Even if they are to you, maintain a polite, professional demeanor. Well, look at that. It's 12:30. We're done. It's 11:20. I do have to get along with the rest of work my day. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button. My name is Jason Walter. I've been your host for another daily dose of Dimestore Psychology. Thanks a lot. You folks have a great day.